Revelation chapter 13. Now it's getting interesting. This is going to cover some of the things that most people hear about Revelation. The mark of the beast and the number 666. Many people, whether they believe or not, know about the term the Antichrist. They know about that. All right. So this is going to be covering it. Remember, last time we covered the dragon as Satan. But now we have two more emerge on the scene. The first beast that we're going to see is the Antichrist. And the second beast comes up, and it is the one we call the false prophet, because it points to the first beast, and all the authority is given to the first beast. Now, what Satan is trying to do, he's not really creative. So what he's trying to do is play copycat over what Jesus did. And as best I can tell, it must be John the Baptist, because John the Baptist pointed to Jesus. Jesus is the one to look to, and Jesus is the one you need to worship, and he is the one you need to put your faith in. Well, now Satan comes along and he creates his first beast, who's supposed to be his Antichrist. He is opposed to Christ, but he is going to be mimicking some of the things that Christ did. He will have power from Satan to work miracles, and he'll be able to do some things that are things that Jesus did. You'll see some other similarities we'll talk about at the end. The second beast is going to come on, and his power is to point to the first one. So let's get started, because this is really interesting stuff, okay? 13:1, the beast out of the sea. This one comes out of the sea. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming up out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear, and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. One of the heads of the beast seemed to had a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. People worshiped the dragon because he had been given authority to the beast. And they worship the beast, and they ask, who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it? The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies, and to exercise its authority for 42 months. There's the 42 months again. It opened its mouth to blaspheme God and to slander his name and his dwelling place and those who live in heaven. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and conquer them. It was given authority over every tribe, language, and nation. All the inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. Whoever has ears, let them hear. If anyone is to go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with the sword they will be killed. This calls for patient endurance and faithfulness on the part of God's people. Now the beast out of the earth. Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf, and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast so that the image could speak and caused all who refused to worship the image to be killed. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. The number is 666. Okay, boy, there's a lot packed into that. Let's start a little bit towards the end. And the second beast is given power, and he is giving breath to the image of this beast. Now, again, we can't know what is going to happen because we don't know if it's next week, next year, or 1,000 years into the future. God has not told us. And Jesus told us when he was here that only his Father knew the day and the hour that this was going to happen. Jesus did not know it. Now, he knows it now as one of the Trinity, but when he was talking to his disciples, he didn't know it. So we don't know what the time frame is. But if you were thinking about it being in that time now, and enough signs are pointing that we could be in that time, let's just assume for a moment that we are. But keep in mind, as we talk about this, that it may not be this time. The second beast is given power to give breath to the image of the first beast so that the image could speak. Now, we really would have a hard time understanding this 50 or 75 years ago. But when you think about today and technology, and you think about the cameras, you think about the video and the internet, you could easily make this image appear around the world so that all people can see it in just a moment. You could see it, and this beast could be speaking to the entire world at one time through his image, not his actual person, but through his image. And that could be what we're talking about. The mark of the beast. Everybody gets terrified these days when they start talking about getting a little chip implanted in your arm and it allowing you to just go through it instead of holding your watch up where you can do a trade with Apple Pay or something like that. You're able to do that. They are thinking that it's going to be something that's an implant. And it may also be implanted into your forehead, something that you just by being scanned, just like we all went through with COVID, when you would go into places, you would go to many places, and they had the little thermometer, and they would measure your temperature on your forehead before you could go in, sometimes your ear. They just had different ways of doing it. But people have been concerned about what is really going to be the mark of the beast, and we don't really know. The other thing is this second beast is going to cause the inhabitants of the earth to be deceived. He is going to deceive them into thinking that this Satan, the dragon, is the one to worship rather than Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Creator. Another thing to think about in terms of a parallel is God is the Creator. That is one of the titles that we give God. He is the one who spoke everything into existence. And he gave the breath of life to everyone. What is the beast known for, and what is Satan known for? Satan is known for destroying everything and for death. Satan causes death. Satan destroys. He does not create anything. He doesn't have that ability, but he can destroy. Now, there's a lot of things that you can wonder about. What was the significance of the first beast coming on the sea and the second beast on the land? And there could be some things to think about there, but we don't have enough information to make that call yet. So let's not worry about that. Let's stay focused on what we can do. And the biggest thing we have to remember is all the inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life. The Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. That is what we need to work on. We need to be constantly focused on worshiping Jesus Christ and not we need blinders on to not see anything else and be distracted by any other miracle that does not fit what Jesus Christ would have done. So with that, 13 is interesting. Now we jump next time, tomorrow, to the Lamb and the 144,000. We're going to find out more about the 144,000 in chapter 14. And so, hope you're enjoying it. Stay with me. There's more to come.